Bam, bam, bam. He or she said, cancel this damn show. They hate it. What? Hold on. Wait a minute.
Make black hair great again.
Hold on. Wait a minute. Now, woo.
We're coming. Get our check.
Cheryl Morrow, the one, the only, the hair oracle.
Well, I think it was Red Dot, and then we also had a cosmetology school instructor in the chat, Miss Denise West, Michelle Allen, Miss Foster. Dang, I missed your name. It's always nice to see Miss Foster in the chat. Michelle Allen, you know how much we love you too.
What? About a whole lot of peace. Cheryl, you order that in a bag of chips. Let me do your hair. What's happening? They was like, what's going on with Kilolo? What's happening, blacks? How y'all doing out there? Y'all know who it is, right? It's me, your homegirl, Ladosha Wright, aka Linger. That's right, Linger. That's Linger. Kilolo, right? And then right over here. Y'all got to know who that is, right? That's Cheryl Morrow, aka the Hair Oracle. She's live and direct. Look at that sunshine. You know,
you see it.
It's snow here today in Cleveland, but that's okay. That's okay. We are 196 after 200. We are 196 episodes in here on the Afro Hair Science YouTube channel. You have just scrolled upon the dumbest shit, and I'm talking about tonight. We talk about some dumb shit. I'm gonna tell y'all right now. You just
man.
I know what y'all say. Y'all say that on every show. But we do, because this is some dumb shit that people say about black hair. This is America's favorite podcast, as a matter of fact, about Afro hair. And tonight is all about does the Brazilian blowout straighten Afro hair, tame frizz, you know, the keratins, all those smoothing, all those silk press, all those treatments, does that shit work? And above all, is it worth it? How many of y'all out here? Come on now, let's get in this chat. How many of you guys out here have spent or is spending in excess, let's just gonna say $175 and up to get your hair treated with any, I don't care what the system is, okay? Let's just the keratin, the Brazilian, the Puerto Rican, the Peruvian. Maybe you got the Peruvian straightening system or the hood straightening system. All right. Let us know. Come on, y'all. Come on in. Y'all come on in. And we're going to have a very, very, very candid discussion about these straightening systems. Now, we ain't trying to tell y'all again. We're not trying to talk y'all into it. We're not trying to talk you guys out of it. We're just here to give you guys some information. Ain't that right, 10 to 13? Mr. Scott, look at that, Scott. I did not say Mrs. Hot this time or Mrs. Scott Holcomb. I said Mr. So you still got to give me my hug when I meet you in real life. I got your name right, finally. I know he like, dang, that girl, a box of rocks. Anywho, who we got? You can't read, you know. What's up, LB? I hope you got that bologna sandwich. I see you. I see you, Kay. What's happening? How you doing? How you doing? Man, we got something wonderful going for you guys. Hello, LinkedIn. How you doing, LinkedIn? What's happening, LinkedIn? All right. Also, Facebook. How you doing, Facebook? Of course, our family over here on YouTube. We just love you guys. And then Instagram with Mr. Scott. Hey, Mr. Scott. So we have an exciting, very informative. This is going to be very, very informative. As a matter of fact, to all of the people, we got a lot of new people. We appreciate all of the questions. So you got to get in the chat and answer some of those questions now, okay? And make some feedback, because they do want to hear from the Hair Oracle. For Q's question about because I did a reel. Y'all got to check out the reels. We get like thousands of likes. And the reels are really helping draw people in. So that particular reel was about the cold wave, you know, This is the Hawaiian Silky Perm is the one that I'm using. And I mentioned that you cannot moisturize natural hair. It's the chemical treated hair, and how that word was borrowed from your dad. And this is what we want you guys to know. Like tonight, we're going, ooh, sure. Sure, you ready to go ham?
I'm ready to go. So we gonna have to do something. We're gonna have to do something.
If y'all in the chat know what ham means, y'all go ahead on and spell out if you know what ham, because she's gonna go ham tonight. But Fall Q's had that question, and so I'll let you answer that for her a little bit better than I did. But a couple of things before we have you answer her question about the moisturizer, because that's something that we've kind of told y'all that's some of the dumbest shit that people say about natural hair. Is y'all got to stop paying for this stuff. I mean, y'all. I mean, they gotta. You don't have to sell it. We just want you guys to know that a lot of this stuff is marketing, but Cheryl can say it better than I. The reason being is that her dad coined the term moisturizer. So if anybody gonna get this shit right, okay, it's her daddy, not her daddy. Okay, so we got to clear these things up. But a couple of things before we have you answer that, and I think Fall Q's would really appreciate that, because she said, "Hold on, now, Key Lolo, I feel you, homegirl." Here's what we got coming up in Cleveland. 2 great events. Guess who's going to be at the podcast summit that's happening here in Cleveland, featuring David Shands and Donnie Wiggins on Thursday, April the 9th. Key Lolo is going to be in the house. I'm going to get some merch, like some stickers that y'all can put on y'all computers. And Cheryl is creating a banner so that I can pop it up and folks can scan their QR codes so we can get y'all some new cousins up in here. But if you are in Cleveland, you can meet me at the Cleveland podcast summit. Just check LOKUL, that's a local. You can check my page out right here on Instagram. I'll be there. I'm gonna be I might even just go ahead on and pull a shirt. We go live for a minute so y'all can see us, your girl, in action. Okay, and again, that's brought to you by local David Shands. Go check him out. Donnie Wiggins. These are podcast host extraordinaires. They're all into the podcast. We're not content creators, but I'm a perpetrate like I'm a content. I'm gonna be up in there like my pocket. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna act like we got like 1 million subscribers. I'm gonna be, you know what, LB, you might like Ladosha, just stop it. But hey, we gotta get some followers out here. Also, what's happening in Cleveland? Shirley Smith, that's right, former state senator Shirley Smith is running for Cuyahoga County Council District 11. And the Reverence Design Team, we're hosting Seniors and Syrup. That's right, free pancakes. So we can't have the syrup because we are on our vernal equinox sugar fast. Now, all of my hair nerds, I hope you guys are following the post only here on YouTube, not on Facebook, not on LinkedIn or Instagram. So you have to come over here to the Afro Hair Science channel, right? And you will see the vernal equinox. I have it all set up for you. I'm sharing with you some stuff that I bought. Cheryl's going to take some pictures of some stuff that she's drinking and munching on, so you guys can see that we're really doing this. And today I was babysitting the baby, and I bit into something, and I had to spit it out because it had sugar in it. I think it was a sausage or something. And then baby daddy brought me over some cake and everything. And I was like, I really can't eat it. You know what I'm saying? But we're not going to, and I'm going to show you guys, we're going to put some butter, but we can't have the syrup. So that's what's going down. Free pancakes for seniors. And it's going to take place at that breakfast place. When I tell y'all, when I come off that sugar fast, I'm going to sit in that restaurant. I'm gonna be like, that little meme with that fat kid with the cake. That's the same sugar got me carrying on like that. You know what I'm saying? But y'all come on and join this vernal equinox. Yeah, when was the first day of spring? It was the 21st. So we're I'm doing pretty good though. I really I see what the trick is. It's planning.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
it's planning, and then in a couple of days the fixations starts switching because
My
it's
stomach
no.
was my stomach was cramping a little bit. I am going to sleep now. When I first did it, I was up all night like I was fiending, like, I'm like, dang, I'm just talking about me. Everybody's gonna have something different. Also, I was a little constipated too. I was like, dang, like, what's up? But I'm boo-booing now, y'all. Where all my boo-boo people at? Boo-boo, boo-boo. Y'all, if you ain't doing a number 2, get your ass off this chat. Boo-boo is good for you.
Yes,
But
it
you
is.
got a boo-boo. So it's Dr.
Oh
Joy
my
gonna join
God.
us. She gonna be with us on Thursday.
This is not a good time to call Auntie Dr. Joy. You got to catch her early in the morning.
Okay, well, we're gonna let you guys know.
But she gonna be on. Absolutely.
Okay, she will be on. We're gonna be talking about fasting. Okay, we gotta get you guys. She can do this better. Not real. Hey, Yate, I was on in Yate's chat last night. Yate, like, don't you get this on my chat? Get it on my chat. Yate, I love. I can't. Yate, I'm gonna come and meet you in real person. I know you don't think I am, but I really am. What's up, Sandra?
We gonna roll up on you.
We gonna put up on me. Yeah, so y'all remember to check out Real Roots every Sunday. Okay, she's here. She's on all these platforms too, and her podcast is it's so intimate and it's so on point and it's exact. You can tell it's a military podcast because she got. I know that's a stereotype, but I don't know a junkie military person. But she's got that very, organized top. This is some top tier shit. Okay, I'm just gonna keep it 100. I just bring on the topic on. Sure, don't know what the hell. She be like, well, I don't know what she's talking about today. Yeah, Tay got a little bit going on. So y'all check my girl out over on Real Roots TV, right here every Sunday. I'm in the chat. Sandra's in the chat. Cheryl's in the chat. WeK's in the chat. So your cousins be over there, okay? And Yate does not let you down. So if you're in the industry, you're a barber, especially female barbers. And Yate, I don't know, are you the only female barber out here with that type of a podcast? So, but anywho, she good, y'all. I just want to say that.
You. That's right.
Yeah. So we ready to get into this topic tonight. It's all about, does the Brazilian blowout straighten Afro hair, tame frizz, relax the curl, all these keratin, what's the difference, and all this, that, and the third. But before we do that, I do need you to go down the rabbit hole for fall cues just a little bit. And I'll just tell you what I said in a nutshell. It was written very long, but in a nutshell, I just pretty much said what you said, that, if you're not chemically altering the hair, the moisturization is not going to happen for a natural or even hydration because you ain't did nothing to it, So when you alter the hair, you are stripping some stuff. You're taking stuff away. When you use chemicals, you're compromising the integrity of the fiber, no doubt. So you do need to use products that can replenish some of that as best it can. Also, what you might be feeling as moisture is really just wet hair. And when it dries, what you're feeling is a hair that's kind of coated. So when you touch it, and I'm just kind of piggybacking off of what Cheryl taught us in Afro Hair Science and here, is that to the touch, it may feel like it's moist or something because that's how your fingers and your brain is kind of like translating it, but you're not really moisturizing or hydrating natural. We're talking about virgin hair, okay? Because it could be natural and still be chemically altered. Let me just make that distinction too, right, Cheryl? Because my hair is chemically altered, but this is my natural hair. This is not a weave or anything, right? But we're talking about virgin hair, and Cheryl is just going to take it away, how they kind of borrowed that language from the world of cosmetology. So if you can just kind of help fall cues out, and then we're going to hop into the topic about, does the Brazilian keratin, all that stuff, does it really straighten and tame? What's up with that? Okay, so Cheryl, can you help fall cues out with that?
And she was talking about, can you moisturize natural hair? Was that the question?
Yeah,
Or
because
some of it?
because when she said when you buy those products, they will say like moisturizing conditioner by Aphrodite and deep hydrating, penetrating, by Afro Lust, and then you know what I'm saying?
Mhm. So
Yeah.
um, because most times, in order to have or make a change, you have to have what we call a metabolic process. The problem with getting something that is supposed to be hydrophobic, hair is supposed to be water repelling. It doesn't, when you, or let's just say, if you were to moisturize as much as people say you're most moisturizing, when you cut hair, something should come out of it, right? Nothing ever comes out because hair is a fiber. It is supposed to be hydrophobic. You cut linen, it's dry inside. You cut cotton, it's dry inside. Hair, keratin, dry inside. Cut your fingernail, it's actually supposed to be hydrophobic. There's no, your fingernails are weak when they are wet.
Wet.
Okay. People say hair is weakest while wet.
Wet.
So I think the idea, and I want you guys to remember, the marketing of a product is not the science of a product, or it's not, it is to get you to create style maintenance, not real genetic changes in the hair per se. And I think that that is where we're getting mixed up. We think that anything that we put topically is going to be eventually being sucked in by the hair, and you guys think that in the cortex there's water. Okay, there's
Well,
no
it's something about sitting in it, or
Mhm,
under a dryer or with that
mhm,
steamer. I just think our
mhm.
our our imagination, I think it kind of gets the best of us. I know
Yeah.
before I understood science and I would read the description or directions. When you read it, it's very visual because America, we talked about this, by the way. If you didn't check out the women who shaped us over on the Kofi Pasta, it was dynamic. And we have Winifred, what's up, over here on Instagram, who was on the podcast platform last night too. It's I think it was Aishita, and she was from, I forgot where she was from, Sierra Leone. And she
Mhm,
was saying how Americans, we have so many like what's the adjectives? And I
mhm,
think when you read the bottles, the adjectives or descriptions of the what the product can do, it
mhm,
brings about a visual where you feel like if I'm under the dryer, my hair is swelling and these molecules are going in and they're binding, because that's the way it's written, so descriptive. And now that you have these AI with the food and the oils coming to life and jumping down into the follicle and going into the hair, that really plays with your imagination, and it's so fascinating. And
mhm,
well, I'm just talking about me, I talk about y'all.
mhm.
And so I believe that too, that if I sat under the dryer, that my hair was opening and the stuff was going in. Anybody else kind of felt like that? I know
Yeah.
I can't be the only
And
one.
unfortunately, cuticles don't open like doors or a window or,
'Cause they would
and
they say it's
yeah.
like blinder. You know what those things called? Like your blinds, like the
Mhm,
blinds kinda, that's how they kinda describe, cuticles, like they kinda open up like a little,
mhm.
like your blinders back there.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
so yeah.
Yeah, and like that there's they act like that there is a cleavage almost in a slit where the cream understands pattern beauty's moisturizer. Like the cortex bond material understands sacred. You know, and I know that sounds so preposterous when we put it like that, but that I do understand. But no, hair in and of itself is supposed to have a metabolic process in which porosity is created. And the
And
only
that
way you can do that is through a metabolic and usually a substance that activates it. It's like this.
what would
If
that
I
substance
want
be?
if I want to put something in your bloodstream via a patch, it has to have chemical in the patch which causes those nerve endings and things of that nature, because you have to remember the epidermis is only going to allow it to permeate into the actual cuticle, has in this microscopic pores in them, not the fact that the whole cuticle opens. Maybe you talking about a cuticle and then you have some permeation. The problem is that you have another layer of cuticle.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? And so, go ahead.
I was going to say, and what would that product be that can move the
And
fabric?
that you need a something that's going to cause the pH to open, to allow the cuticle to understand that it must either expand or contract. But that's a pH change. So in other words, in this transdermal patch, there is you have things that are in the skin. You have neurons, you have receptors. Those things allow the tissue
Medicine.
to contract or to expand. And I think that that's what's going on microscopically. That's what's going on genetically, not the fact that the cuticles are open and then something goes in and then they close. It doesn't quite happen like that. Unfortunately, that's how they sell you. You don't have another language to make sure that it reaches the common sense of the consumer, and the consumer takes you literal.
Yeah, I'm kind of
You need
going along.
ammonia, you need some kind of active, you need either ammonia, you need something that's either high in alkalinity to cause either acceleration or some type of swelling or expansion or contraction. And that is how we affect the flexuousness of the cuticle layer. Most topicals such as moisturizers and activators and butters, they don't even get below the epidermis or the either past even one stack of cuticle. It doesn't even go past that. And when you guys see a cross section of a hair strand, that's a lot of layers of cuticle. You all of those opening would expose the cortex level. Most processes don't get underneath that unless it's a cosmetic treatment that causes it in an acid pH to contract, or an alkaline and make it expand.
And what cosmetic treatments are you talking about? Can conditioners make it contract?
Conditioners don't have an active. Problem is conditioners don't have actives in them. Substances that have actives in it, you guys call those chemicals.
Like hair color, relaxers, keratins, these chemicals that we're going to be talking about
and
tonight.
Even right
some,
and even
not all.
Yeah,
some
and even and some keratins are acids.
Yeah. Okay, fall cues. I hope we were able to make that a lot more clearer for you
so
to
most
understand.
Moisturizers don't come in a bottle.
Yeah, they're
wetness. They're wetness.
Yeah, and I think but I'm with you. That's what I was gonna say, Brianna Simone, that they do, and in school they did. That's why I started. I said it was just me, but she said her too. When you read the stuff, and like Cheryl said, We have to understand, and this is our job as cosmetologists, is to, discern that what's being marketed is not science. And I think that was powerful what you just said, because to me, I ain't gonna lie, Sandra, I thought that was the science until I met the hair oracle. No, but for real though, I told the story about how the first product line I bought was Matrix. And I was like a few years out of college, and I do remember them teaching us that hair and skin and figuring us like hydrophobic. And so when the sales rep came in to sell the products, and they were talking about deep conditioners that can go in, and all I remember thinking was, that ain't what they taught us in college. And from that moment on, now before that, I was selling treatments, but in our salon, I ain't gonna lie. And we're gonna move on to the topic. I ain't with the I ain't if the hair is not, no, I'm for real. First of all, I will admit that I am terribly cheap. And I don't like my customers spending, that's one. And then two, if you're not chemically altering the hair, I mean, what you doing? But we're going to get into that tonight. Sure, it's going to help us out, because that is the question, is what does these Brazilian blowouts, do they actually straighten? What are they doing to the hair? Now, there is a distinct difference between because they could either be called smoothing systems or straightening systems. And as much as we want to say that smoothing means no chemicals and straightening means chemicals, smoothing can have chemicals and straightening cannot have chemicals. So sure, can you talk about the smoothing, straightening? Does one mean more chemicals than the other? I think smoothing implies that there are no chemicals, and straightening implies that it does. So can you help with that nomenclature, lexiconish type stuff? And then we're gonna got some videos to help you guys, go further along. So let's start right there with because that's the language they're using, is smoothing and straightening. So let's help the consumers understand the fancy adjectives of smoothing and straightening.
So let's start with one of the reasons why the claim, it doesn't work on the high coil counts, like 4C, very high in coil. Okay, so you have, let's say, you have an inch of hair, and between this is the new growth, and this is the end of the hair, right? And so by the time you have, let's say, you have 10 coils, that would be considered high, which would be very, very curly. Okay. Now, a smoothing would say that in the heat process, after you get through making it like a rubber band, and then you make it like a spaghetti, right? So in the heat process, it stretches it, right? The straightener or the relaxer literally takes out 4 of the loops of the coils. So now it has a wavy kind of process. And depending on how long you keep it in, you can take 4 coils away, or you got 10, you take 6 away to where it's almost real smooth. I mean, real kind of wavy and straight. But a relaxer doesn't allow those loops to come back. A smoothener may, depending on how many strokes you guys did with the flat iron with the smoothener, right? That is the difference. One takes it away chemically, and one stretches it, makes it try to make it as porous as possible, right? And I'm going to explain when I mean porous. You guys have to understand, the hair being hydrophobic, the heat is supposed to stretch and make those cuticles that are so stacked to make them further apart. So now they're elongated. That's the smoothing. The relaxer takes the cuticle, remove the cuticle that makes it so loopy. And so that's when you start dissolving some of the cuticle layer, and now the hair is permanently. And that's the difference. Smoothing's not permanent, relaxer is permanent.
Okay, now what about these Brazilian, these keratin treatments? So what's the difference between straightening with the relaxer, which is sodium hydroxide, and straightening with ammonium thioglycolate? Are they both doing the same thing? So we know smoothing is going to leave something in. So can we break that down? Okay.
So keratin uses a method of trying to, this is keratin. You guys have a nice thick steak. And then you guys get you a meat cleaver and you beat the shit to death. Boom, 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 boom. And then now the fibrate is now, the lattice is coming loose. It's now very loose.
Tenderized.
Right. And so now, because you've taken some of the tightness off of the surface, and then they go into a double. Okay, now, but they do it with the formaldehyde or methylene glycol or something. They do it. Okay, they beat it. So the texturizer is that formaldehyde based kind of substance. Then they go in once it's beat up, right? And now they're going to stretch the meat with the flatter, and they pass it about 20 times.
So let me get this right. Let me just break it. No, okay, no, go ahead.
Right, and so it's almost like this. Brazilian takes a nice, well-woven fabric, and they beat it until where some of the fibers now have lost their tight lattice. So now they're like this.
So then is it elongating? Is it still elongating?
No, they're literally trying to pull them apart with all of the heat stroke. And so now they're like this. That's why you can't wash it. You can't move it. You can't do anything. And that's why they say it wears off. It's only lasts for 3 months.
I'm a little confused. So the ammonium thioglycolate isn't taking away the coil.
It's not a strong, it's not as strong as the thio per se, because they're hoping that this solution is going to, it's almost like pressing a shirt. It's almost like starch. That's what that's the word. The starch. It's almost like saying you bunch up this and then you just press it and then you keep going over it with the iron.
So the formaldehyde or methylene glycol or formalin, which can be in either a smoothing or a keratin, because these are brand names. So like keratin,
no smoother or keratin is permanent. It wears off. So you got to go press your shirt again the moment you wet it.
Okay, all right. So whereas the relaxer, that's permanent. Okay. Permanent. I know. Okay, we got y'all. We can come on now. Oh, wait a minute. Our co-host says now is a good time because they like, wow, we see y'all coming through, showing what they need to do to help change the narrative about Brazilian keratin, all that, straighten out the hair. Do this right now, guys. Pump me on. Pump me on. All right. So now we're starting to see that those Brazilians, those keratins, and that's only if they have formaldehyde or some type of a derivative or something, a cousin of a formaldehyde, your
Yeah.
methylene glycol or formalin. There are too many chemical names that we can even go over, but those are the most common three that we hear about in the salon when they come in and they talk to us about the products. Now, as the consumer, you have to ask. Please, y'all, don't Google this, because these companies do not have to publicly, tell the public what's in the product. Because remember, products that's for licensed professionals, they have can you talk about that just so you guys can know why they're not going to put this out? We're just trying to help you guys understand. So Cheryl, talk about why we get special instructions as licensed professionals compared to the public.
Well, it's the original education that we receive that makes us understand what they're not saying. A consumer doesn't know what they're not saying. They're taking them as truth. But when you have a cosmetology language, glossary, terminology, understanding, chemical understanding, we know what they are saying when they don't say something. Or when they don't say something, we know what they're actually are saying, because we have the information and the education to decipher. The consumer doesn't have the information to decipher. So when they say this is a smoothener, they, to a consumer's mind, they may think it's a conditioner. Okay. And when they say that this is a smoothing agent cream, we know that something's going on. You may just think it's smoothing lotion, and it's going to make your skins feel smooth. So there is some language and understanding and education that we know that we can decipher and actually eventually know what they mean, and we can attach those meanings actually to results. We most 9 times out of 10 know that we need gloves when they say something. You may not know that you need to put it on with gloves, because there's a ring of information that we already have when we're reading directions and things like that.
Right.
That makes sense.
So consumers, and this is why we say the dumbest shit, okay? Because they're not going to tell you that. They're going to, and remember now, our education as cosmetologists is what they call continuing. The license is about public safety and sanitation. I repeat, I don't care if you're going, you get a natural hairstyle and boutique per minute, whatever, all of it, even barbering. First and foremost is public safety and our safety, right? They want to make sure we're safe too. And so that's the overarching of our education. And then, like Cheryl said, we have to get that continuing education, because you saw what Brianna Simone, she and I started off by saying, hey, when they first came in with this whole deep conditioner thing, right? I took that literally. Now, this was at the beginning part of my career as a cosmetologist, right? And I said, I ain't talking about nobody, I'm talking about me. So here's another cosmetologist saying, yeah, they said that same thing too. Now, it's been a long time, and my instructor might say, no, I didn't say that, but I interpret it, or that's how I remember it, right? But you have to have that cosmetologist, that barber, that natural hairstylist, that trichologist, colorist, whatever they're going to call themselves. They need to have continuing education, because this stuff changes. And like Cheryl said, it is our job to not take them literally, but to use our lived experiences and to translate that. So again, when you go and you get this service done, or if you're going to buy this stuff at home, don't try to Google it. You need to talk to that professional and ask them up front what is in the product. Okay. So now we have that out the way. Now let's move over. We're going to we have to include this one. Now, this one is here. What about those amino acid treatments like the e-press and There's so many, okay? We just cannot name all of them where they're using some type of amino acid. I would say polymer, but so what about those to smooth? Are they working like keratin or are they working like a relaxer? How are the amino acid treatments working to smooth hair?
Let me ask you guys a question. What do you guys know what amino acids are?
All right. That's gonna be the trivia. What's going on, Tyree 498? I see you over there. Again, what's up, Miss Winifred? I see the Instagram family is coming through. Here is our trivia, Monday night trivia. All right, you get the shout out. We send folks over to your channel because we like to show some love over here on the Afro Hair Science YouTube channels. America, the dumbest shit that people say about black hair. So here's the trivia for tonight. Who wants to be bold to answer? What are amino acids? That's the trivia for tonight. Okay. I don't have any music, Cheryl. So, oh, here we go. All right, we stole that. What show did that come from?
Jeopardy.
Jeopardy. Okay. All right. We stole it from Jeopardy. Okay. So the Monday night trivia, fun trivia, big laughs, and major shout outs. Okay. So we got we got note taking time. That's right. That's what we're here for. Okay. So we're going to answer this question. How about smoothing amino acids? Okay. All right, Cheryl. So here, let me take this down. And again, we thank each and every last one of you guys for joining us. Don't forget, hit that thumbs up button. And the interaction is like the bomb.com. So here are some of the answers that we have. Kay Washington says it's protein. Sister Nia Colby says it's building blocks for proteins. Sandra, our virtual co-host, says they are building blocks that creates protein. You know what? Let me put my hashtag here, nurse. Y'all ain't nobody getting it down like that. Y'all okay. Y'all some bad mofos. I'm getting a little excited. Let me calm down, Sandra. I'm trying to calm down. Okay, my hashtag here, nurse. I love y'all so much. All right. Okay, Cheryl. Who got the answer right? Y'all drop that hashtag here, nurse, in the chat, okay? It's amino acids are proteins. They are building blocks for proteins. They are building blocks that create some proteins.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all got the hair writing shit down. Y'all.
Okay. And the reason why I said that is because one of the problems with companies just saying amino acids, why don't they just say protein? And amino acids are protein, right? And if that is the single most important part of keratin treatments, the question is that why are they temporary? Why doesn't it last?
Because they're synthetic.
Because
they want, yeah, I mean, it's not real. It's not like it's like this kind of, you know what I'm saying?
Why don't, and to answer the young lady's question, how about smoothing using amino acids? That's what keratin is. So why don't they just say, stop trying to be fancy, just say protein, because keratins use a hydrolyzed protein. Now the question is,
wait, let me get that up to Kay Watchlight. You better hit that hand clap before y'all go one step. I see you, Kay. Kayla, I see him, protein, okay? And you go, okay. Oh, y'all, I'm gonna have copy books for my homegirl, okay? See, that's what Ishita was saying last night on the Coffee Pie Side TV, but y'all go subscribe to this channel. She said that we just got this way with these adjectives. Why do they do that to us?
Well, now, why don't they just say protein? And she just said, what about smoothing the hair with amino acids? Now, what is the problem with using protein as a smoothener? What's the problem? Because I gave you guys actually two questions. Why won't they just say protein? And what is the problem with using protein? And why is protein only temporary? If hair is made of it. Go.
Okay, we gotta give him a minute, Cheryl. We
All
gonna
right.
let y'all. I'm just writing it out. So why won't they just say proteins? And then how come these things don't last?
Mm-hmm. And especially as opposed to the relaxer, the way Black people do it.
Mm-hmm. Look at Giraffe Butterfly. She slid through like. If you got a name like Butterfly, it just makes sense that you just float right on in. I love your avatar. Welcome to the Afro Hair Science YouTube channel. She said because I like that. Because protein it can break hair. Okay. All right. I've been loving these responses. All right, Instagram.
Okay,
Don't be
third, if protein is made of hair, why would protein break hair?
All right.
So there's three questions.
If hair is made of protein, is that what you said? If hair is made of
protein, because the young lady said protein can break hair. If it's made of protein, why would it break hair?
All right. Let me repeat I know some of y'all sitting up there. I know y'all Googling that. That's okay. Y'all in that chat GPT, do what y'all need to do. Let me just repeat these questions. Take your time. Just take your time. We here for it, okay? Why won't they just say proteins? Let me put your question back up, Sister Nia Colby. Stay with us. I gotta find it. Okay, here it is. Okay. All right. So the first question is why won't they just say protein treatment? Okay. Keratin, Brazilian, Shaniqua, Peruvian. Second one, how come they don't last? All right. Number 3, if hair is made of protein, then how can protein break your hair or cause breakage? It's getting hot in here. Take off all your clothes. I am into I'm with you, Brianna. Wow. If you're my age, you say wowsy, woo woo. Okay. All right. Okay, we got some. And thank you so much, Giraffe Butterflies. Welcome. And Kobe said the same compound can't change the same compound. She went with the positive, negative. Y'all remember that? Greater than, less than. I'm like, y'all a little smart little mofo here, okay? Got a little smart little mofos. It's sitting on the top. And protein can break hair. Okay, that was from the other one. Okay. All right. Okay. So we got some All right, so we got some unique responses. Instagram, they haven't said anything. It's okay, Instagram. We're all here for it. Okay, so you want to just go one by one where you can answer. Why won't they just say it's a protein treatment instead of Brazilian blowout to straighten and relax the curl pattern and make your hair more manageable?
Okay.
Brazilian.
Right, so we're going to get into this one. Okay, now, You remember having a conversation, right, with a man named Mr. Sharp. And you remember him talking about him selling a process that Mr. Morrow created called the reform, right? And when we made the reform, it was very hard to control it because Mr. Morrow liked to use live organisms, and he needed to understand proteins, right? The reason why they use the word amino acids, so you won't understand what really actually is going on. So if you understood that protein is just acids, or protein is amino acids, and acids are proteins, right? You would just say, well, you would ask a question that you're not supposed to ask. You would ask this question, well, which ones? Which protein? Well, which, because keratin is a fibrous. It can't include all amino acids. There's tons of amino acids that go with a certain protein. So that leads that question, okay? Then once you understand that Brazilian or keratin treatment uses hydrolyzed protein. Hydrolyzed protein.
So the answer to why they won't just say protein is because there are many kinds of protein. All right. Okay. Y'all better write this down now, because I know y'all gonna be getting to these arguments.
So in other words, if there's 200 amino acids, well, shit, it ain't 200 amino acids because amino acids do several things. So maybe there's only 5 amino acids that makes a fibrous called keratin. Now you see how it goes. So keratin, to become keratin, can only use certain types of amino acids.
Because Infusium 23 says they use 23 building blocks of protein.
Right.
Now, yeah.
Now,
okay.
So here's the point. But protein in and of itself is insoluble. That part.
It's insoluble. Okay. All right. Protein is insoluble. Okay. So how?
You understand what I'm saying?
Okay. All right.
It's designed for nothing to go in it. That's the point, right?
Okay, y'all writing this down. I am too. I'm writing it down too. Okay. Now, what about the second one? Well, how come they don't last, Miss Hair Oracle?
Okay, because proteins by nature they're not soluble. You can't penetrate them. They can only be holders. They can't go inside because they don't go anywhere. So the Infusium 23 knows as a product, they're just making the outer layer of the hair
feel so damn good.
Right.
And now let me just say, now, hold on. Now, let me just get it out. Now I'm about to go act a fool up in here. Now, see, this is why this podcast is called The Dumbest. Why y'all gonna spend that kind of money? A protein. Let me just say this. Can I just get this story out right quick? This was the moment that I decided I did not want to become an educator. No disrespect, okay? So I'm in the class and I'm teaching, right? And we're teaching about proteins, okay? So I'm teaching the class that, anything like that's hard, they're proteins. and that these are, I'm saying the same thing that Cheryl, but I'm a little, y'all know I'm from the ghetto, so I was a little hood, you know, like, so, you know, anything that's like hard that builds, you know, they're proteins. So no matter what the product is saying on the bottle, which is what we're saying tonight, is a protein is a protein is a protein. So they in the class. So I said they're still kind of confused about this protein. So I said a protein. What about if it's the one from Dudley's? What about that cat? And I was like, it doesn't matter, ma'am. They're just names. And a protein is a protein is a
protein.
No, they was like plastic. Protein is a protein. They kept naming off names, and I was like, guys, they're all just. And so I was becoming so frustrated. That's when I knew I was not going to make it, because you have to be a special kind of a person to educate. So I knew at that moment I'm not that special kind of a person, because I became very like, y'all just stupid. So I got really mad. So I knew at that moment I'm not going to make a good teacher. Not like that. Anywho.
Okay,
but
so
this is why we have the dumbest shit, because y'all.
Yeah.
It's just all
okay,
the
now,
same. Okay, so
now,
okay,
now,
so next, so
now.
if hair is a protein, then why would it? What did you say? If hair is made of protein, then why would it break hair?
Who said it did?
Now come on, chat. This ain't a trivia. Please, the chat is on fire. We see y'all in here, even though some of y'all are not subscribed, but y'all still. Please, if everybody could just say, yup, or me too. How many people have been told that proteins can coat your hair and make it so hard that it can just snap? How? Just say, yup, I heard that. Okay. And again, Cheryl, take it away. I'm getting a little bit out of control. Let me just shut up.
Okay, no, you're right. You're right. No one ever, they said it, but this is the difference between, hopefully, the difference between a professional, because I know better. I know you couldn't tell me that.
I gotta interrupt you, because it be the professionals that be saying it. And y'all, some of y'all, come on now. I have argued with professionals like Ladosha, get out my face. You don't know. I'm like, hey, that doesn't even make any sense. You know, if you're using Afro G, I'm not okay. If you're using I don't really care what it is, you know. But it make your hair hard, and then your hair start breaking because the shit is cheap. Oops, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. This is our job to decipher.
Well, let me just say this. If proteins, all they do is coat, and if we let that cat out the bag, and if proteins break the hair, and if proteins are insoluble, then you guys have to ask the other dumb question, then where would deep conditioners come in? We just said proteins of what hair is made of only stay on the surface. So what is going deep inside protein that makes it deep conditioner?
Now, okay.
You understand? So if I'm
I'm using, what's up, Mika? I see you, boo boo.
What's up?
We got some shout outs right quick. We got Erica in the chat. What's up, Erica? I need to come to Houston to see you. Mika, I see you. I saw you in the chat yesterday. Mika be rocking out with them pseudo killers. You know what I'm saying? What's up, boo? Kay, like, not that Afro G. Yeah, baby. So sure, repeat the question again. Okay, so if the proteins are sitting on top, how is it that
we are making right? If we're using protein, which hair is made of to make it strong, and it's so strong it will break the hair, then what substance are we using for the deepness. When we say we're gonna go do deep condition, what are we using then? Because the protein is insoluble. The protein that we use on the protein hair fiber is insoluble because it is only a coater. So it don't go inside. So what are we using to make the deep conditioner a deep conditioner?
So Kay said nothing. So that one might be a little difficult. So you can go ahead with the answer. I'm like,
yeah. Okay.
No answer.
So that what I'm saying to you is that sometimes you guys have to remember the marketing department at companies and product companies are to sell you something. They're not really deep going inside, because now that we're talking about proteins, you are realizing that protein, that's the reason why if you're using protein, they only last for a certain time because they only can coat. And because they are coaters in the smoothing process of a keratin or a Brazilian hair straightener, they're only on the outside. That's why when you leave and get one done, you can't move it. You can't do anything to it.
And they tell you that.
Okay.
Yeah, even with the relaxer, we don't want you to hop into the water the next day.
Well, that's for different reasons. That's because you just styled the hair. The point we're not saying that because there's nothing there. You know, relaxers work on the surface and then you rinse them out. Point here is that if we are strengthening hair, coating hair, and doing these things, and they only last temporarily because they're coaters, when we do a deep condition, then what are we using? Or then we get into understanding, right, that at the end of the day, what would be that chemical that offsets the protein? What would the deepness, what product or chemical or substance, or what are we using to make it that substance deep? And I'm just letting you know at the end of the day, now that we're talking about proteins, proteins are designed to be insoluble. And at the end of the day, keratin treatments use what kind of protein? That's the next question. What kind? We know there's amino acids, but what kind of protein do they use? They use what we call a hydrolyzed protein. You can eat hydrolyzed protein, but they use a hydrolyzed protein.
And now let me show a video of what she's talking about here. So I'm going to show the Brazilian blowout treatment, and this will help you guys get a good feel for the protein that sits on top. Okay, so here is one here.
How to Brazilian blowout. Start by cleansing with step 1. Apply step 2 solution to towel dried hair in thin sections. Next, blow dry hair as sleek and smooth as possible. Flat iron instructions will vary by hair type and desired result. After rinsing, apply step 3 and style as desired. Clients will enjoy up to 12 weeks of smooth, frizz-free hair.
There you go.
Now here's my thing. When we talk about, now y'all see why it's costing $300. She didn't had to wash it, right?
Now, why does she wash it first?
Hold on, let me just get through it. We're gonna get through it. And I'm just because I'm going on the cheap side. Sure, gonna break down the science, but I'm coming at it from a cheap angle, and then y'all gonna see why I don't know. Okay. So you have to cleanse the hair first. They want you to clear. I'm sorry, Cheryl. Clarify. They want you to clarify the hair first. No conditioner. You're going to go straight with the Brazilian or whatever the name. Remember, these are brand names. And you're going to apply it to the hair, right? And then you're going to blow it dry, right? And then you're going to smooth it, right? And then you're going to wash it out. And then you're going to put some more sealant. And then you're going to blow it dry. You're going to flat iron it again. So now you can see why these services are in excess of $300. That's a lot of work in a hair salon. Me, I'm just gonna grab some of Cheryl stuff or some hair grease. I'm done with it. So Cheryl, take it away with the Brazilian Blowout straightening system, taming the frizz of Afro, whatever texture you want to have.
Okay, right. And so when frizz happens, you have a surface, and then you got the cuticle here, and frizz happens every time a cuticle senses moisture. And then the other ones start lifting, right? Because that's because a frizz is really a curl. It's an afro. It's starting to wave up. Okay, right? And so the smoothing portion, okay, right? Because of course, protein connected to your skull is going to sense moisture in the air because it's a fiber. It reacts to triggers like movement, air, humidity, water, little particles, microscopic particles that you can't even see, right? And they are sensing them. Okay?
That's that 9 ether. There go that 9 ether.
No, it's just biological. You know what I mean?
Y'all know Yaki said that's that 9 ether. You can feel his antennas.
Okay. And that is what frizz is. So in a European mind or world, straightness or Asian or Latino, you have straightness. You want it satin silk. You want it satin straight. So anything that resembles any kind of African shit, here it come. We call it frizz or afro.
All right.
Okay. Right?
Okay.
Okay. And my point is that you have to take all the product off the surface because you want to only coat clean surface. That's why they tell you to wash it first, because they don't want any other product underneath because it may not adhere. Right. Now.
All right. Okay. Go ahead. And I
The
got another one with time.
All right. The nature of proteins are sticky. Okay. We understood this. Maybe Dr. Morrow created the reformation condition. Mr. Morrow's favorite protein was always enzymes. His favorite. There's a reason for that I love to explain, but I'm not going to explain it now. But the point is that proteins are sticky. But when you before you ask your second or your question and or your nether phase or video, Ladosha, God, I forgot my thought that quick.
Well, can I just add on to the sticky part? That
I know
kind of. Okay, go ahead. Go ahead, hit it.
No, go ahead. I remember it.
No,
I'm not going to forget it.
That whole thing about protein, being heavy and causing the hair to snap and break. That's our job as cosmetologists to discern the quality of that stickiness. And sometimes the technician may not rinse the hair properly. Sometimes the hair isn't cleansed properly. This is why we tell you guys to watch out for those heavy like waxes and resins. I personally, professionally, I know for a fact that the shampoo manufacturers have not caught up to those resins from those waxes because they don't even clean the hair. Now, there's only 2 companies that I know that has products that can get it off properly. And I'm not talking about those clarifying shampoos. One is the Sea Marvel Sweet, and the other is Revere. Even my own hair care brand cannot get that stuff off of the hair. So you have to understand that when you have that type of stuff on your hair and you're going in for these so-called smoothing treatments. Now, when I say so-called, that's not disrespectful, okay? Any smoothing or straightening treatment, it's not necessarily going to work the way that you want because you have the stuff on your hair. Also, let's say you do get it clean and you do use a protein and you feel like the hair is like kind of, oh, I don't know. Again, that could be what, like she said, is what the product is made out of and what it is supposed to do. If you're using these treatments on hair that's not chemically altered, yeah, you're going to have a horrible feeling on the hair because ain't shit wrong with it. So if you don't have a chemical like color, if you don't have a cold wave, if you don't have powder lightener, if you're not using a relaxer, stop spending money on that shit because your hair gonna feel like crap because ain't nothing wrong with it. Your turn, Cheryl.
Absolutely. And one of the things that I want you guys to realize how smart you're, the reason why Black Hair Care existed is so we can separate the alchemist thought of how we divide chemistry, alchemy, from the chemistry principles of straight hair, which is from Europeans. Not to say that the Europeans are wrong or bad, but their science platform, their synopsis belongs to straight hair, going back to curly. Our synopsis was going from curly to straight. So the chemical composition of our thought process to create chemistry and chemical and cosmetic treatments, they're going the opposite direction. We think from curly to straight, they think from straight to curly. Okay. And so we have to understand that the science principles of our chemistries are different. And so when you guys, and if you guys can do me a favor, okay, because one of my, I love cosmetic chemistry, but one of my favorite subjects is, well, actually not basically favorite subject, but I love protein morphology. Just put, what does a protein look like? Or put a folding protein in the search engine. And you guys tell me why Black people don't use them as a science. Just look at them. All proteins fold. Then just look at them. And you guys, as soon as you guys see what proteins look like microscopically, you'll say, oh, I know why Black people don't use sciences like the Brazilian and keratin chemistry when you see them.
I'm gonna look it up. And you said it's called folding proteins, FOLDING.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, a folding
Did you
protein.
say folding, FOLD.
Fold. All proteins fold or coil. Look at it.
Okay, let me get an image. All right, hold on. I'm gonna pull this up. I'm gonna get to your question. And then I'm gonna also show the video. So let me take this down right quick. So again, you've been binging on this channel. Thank you, Disney. Thank you. Hello. This is Disney Toys Are for Fun 975. She said she's been binging on this channel. This is a good channel. Okay, so I'm going to answer your question. We appreciate that. But let me show you guys. Let me share a folding protein. Now, what's the premise of the folding protein again? Why are you asking us this question?
The reason why our Black people's cosmetic science is different, because using proteins, our favorite use of proteins is in the conditioning phase. Other than that, we don't use them. But for some reason, proteins are used in the straight world, in straight hair, to create a coating, which makes sense. Black people could never use it. Look at why we don't. Because
I see that
our hair and proteins have the same morphology.
Oh, y'all better listen. Just be quiet, sure, for 1 second. I gotta be rude. Hit that thumbs up button and stop playing. Now, y'all say y'all want some receipts. I want some receipts, okay? Remember, she said straight hair science is different from Afro hair science. See, now y'all see why I got upset with Cheryl. Well, how come ain't nobody never said nothing about no Afro hair science? You know, so this is what we're getting. We're getting hair chemistry taught from a straight to curly science, and our science is from curly to straight. So here is a protein folding. Do we want this protein on our hair?
Now, let me just say this. The question that you guys should ask, why do Black people's hair fold? Because protein, science, nature is absolutely just so fascinating. Proteins take up a lot of space in your human body. If proteins were to be literally straight, where would your body be able to fit them all? So what nature decided to do is make them fold. To what? Nature makes proteins fold so it can conserve space. So what does your DNA strand do? It folds to make space. Your brain, so it can fit in your skull. Why do you think it's wrinkled? To conserve space. Or to conserve density. That's why you can see a person's afro. To conserve space, you got to pull it just to see how long it is, right? But it goes, and that takes up all that space. That's why proteins fold. And to denature them, to make them unfold, in our mind, a Black chemist science mind, makes length. And that's the reason why Black people science goes from curly to straight, from dominant to recessive. In straight hair, white Europeans go from recessive to dominant. That's why they created a permanent wave. And we have to straighten our coil out, then go back on the roller. It's all makes sense once you really, really think about it. And that's why Black hair care made themselves separate, because we were scientifically separate. And that's why Black hair care is named Black hair care. And then the rest of the beauty world has their beauty world. Make sense?
Y'all put some hand clap emojis in the chat. Y'all stop messing around. I'm along the lines of Urker. All I could say is wow. Okay. Wow. Did you just
That's
not
why
learn
Afro
something
hair
new?
can't use certain chemicals. We couldn't use thio. We couldn't go acid because, and by the way, all proteins are amino acids.
All right.
Yeah. So
All right.
that makes
So
sense
let's
why
show,
they fold, because they're acids.
all right. So let's show this video of, this is a Brazilian, okay, blowout. And this particular video, I'm with you. Ooh, look at y'all. Come on. What's up, Kimberly? We got the legendary Kimberly H in the house. She said, "No, that's Afro Science, baby. Come on now, y'all. How you doing, beautiful?" All right. So let's show this. Let's show this service on Afro hair. And this is Brazilian blowout. Okay, here we go. Now, this is a couple of minutes, but I want y'all to see it. So take notes, guys. Here we go.
Hey cuties, I'm back with the Brazilian blowout. Brazilian blowouts are so exciting for me because unlike keratins, they have same day results. Basically, all that yippity yapping that I'm talking about, you get to see all the results in real time. Today was a really special day because my client is actually identical to my aunt. So I was like, oh my God, this is absolutely insane. But anyways, I want you guys to really look at her hair and get a feel for it. You can see, first of all, it's gorgeous hair. Anti-gravity, so thick, so curly, and I just love it. Here I am applying the Brazilian Blowout solution. And this is where I really get a feel for the curls to see where they are tight, where they are loose, where the density is lower, where the hair is softer. Just I get to really understand the hair in a different way after shampooing it. And here I am with the blowout. So after blowing this product through, my client and I get to see how long her hair really is because she hasn't straightened it in like 3 years. So we were shocked. Here I'm straightening the Brazilian Blowout product through my client's hair. I've already formulated her amount of swipes and the temperature of the flat iron to curate perfect curls for her that will not only be easy for her to straighten and blow her hair at home, but these curls are going to be equipped to be worn out without pretty much doing anything. My client will literally get out of the shower and her hair will be perfect. And after this straightening, I'm going to take her to the sink and wash her hair because the Brazilian Blowout is rinsed out in the same day. So she has the option to either wear her hair curly or wear her hair straight. Totally up to her. Please stay tuned for the next video where I'll be rinsing her hair, washing it, exposing her new beautiful hair texture, reblowing it, straightening it, and giving her a gorgeous haircut. I can't wait for you guys to see it. Please stay tuned.
Okay, now, so the Brazilian is that meat cleaver that we were talking about. But I want to make sure that you guys understand. That's how she left.
Well, this is an example of what they say the Brazilian treatment does for Afro hair. Now, we do have some licensed cosmetologists in the chat, and this one is for the public. And I'm going to come back to it. But that was her hair before the Brazilian treatment. And this was her hair after the Brazilian treatment. So I wanted to use a picture instead of the video because the video, sometimes you kind of get lost in the definition of, but this is what they're saying that the Brazilian treatment can do in addition to this right here. Okay. So it's going to give your curl. You have either or. You can have curl definition with the Brazilian treatment, or you can have sleek hair. And also these keratins profess to do the same thing. But remember, guys, we've said it once, we're going to say it again. You have to talk to the professional about what's in it and which one can do what. All right.
Okay.
One quick video, right quick, Cheryl, before you answer that. And this one is about the Brazilian Blowout again. So right quick.
Brazilian Blowout is a smoothing treatment. It is made of amino acid plant proteins, and basically what it does is it will coat the hair to reduce frizz, reduce curl pattern, make your hair more manageable, and add like incredible shine. The molecules on the Brazilian Blowout are larger than a keratin treatment. So it's not necessarily going into your hair shaft and penetrating the cuticle. It is coating the cuticle.
Cheryl's a little frozen, so she'll be back. And one quick, whoops. Okay, Cheryl's gonna come back. But I hope you guys are getting a feel for what's going on here. So until Cheryl comes back in, I'm just gonna show this picture again of what they're professing that the Brazilian Blowout can do. is that once you do the various steps that's required, and it appears that they both pretty much have the same thing, but again, we have to point out that they have different steps. And for the most part, you are going to cleanse, treat, blow dry, smooth, wash, and repeat the process again. Okay. And so you have the option to either have a wash and go, which they say this is going to make the hair so easy that you can literally, wash it, apply your conditioner, your styling agent, and voila. Or you can blow dry your hair, you can smooth it out, and voila. Okay. So that's what they are professing. Now, I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I'm waiting for, here goes Cheryl. Here we go. There we go. Hair Oracle, you're back. I think you're on mute. You gotta unmute your mic. Oh, no, she's not muted. Can you hear me, Cheryl? Say something. Cheryl, say hello. We can't hear you. There you go. There you go.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now. You just got a delay here. Yeah, but I got you. Okay. And so now this is professionally, okay? I'm gonna tell y'all this right now.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, that's okay. You got a little delay.
My phone is overheating. Okay.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna be honest, okay? Depending on the texture, the tighter the curl. Now, if you notice the lady on the before, it's not really all that tight, okay? And the notion of just getting up to wash and go after these treatments, please, y'all, don't believe that. That is not going to happen. This is a styled hair. And if you are a stylist in the chat, please say yes or no. She did not just get up and take her hair and wash it and comb it, and she put some mousse or some cream or whatever, and she just walked out the house like that. That is styled hair. And then over here, she had to work that the same in small sections or subsections, blow it dry. And small sections, she has to flat iron it, and she's gonna have to use at least 430 to 450 degrees of heat to keep that hair from reverting back. So I'm just gonna tell y'all, when Disney Toys asked the question, so when it comes to us straightening our hair, let me see if I can find this, Cheryl. And Cheryl was like, I was Cheryl. I don't think we got no business messing around with this stuff, but let me see. Hold on, where'd it go? Wait a minute. Wait. I'm sorry, y'all. There's so many comments in the chat. Oh, here it is. I found it. Sorry. But I needed it. I needed it. Okay, so Disney's toys are for us. I'm sorry, toys are for fun, $9.75. She asks this question. What's up? Y'all getting hot over here on Instagram. This is a hot topic. She said, so what? She said, we not supposed to use grease then? I thought the question asked, so are we supposed to use grease then? And my answer would be, the best results to go to transition between wearing your hair as is, you want curls on it or whatever, you want to rock your afro like this, you have to style it first and foremost. Please don't think y'all just gonna get up and comb your hair out and walk out the house like this. She took her fingers. This is a coiled or maybe some type of a comb or something. She styled this hair. You're not gonna get up and walk out. If you just wash your hair like this and grab some grease and press it out, you'll get the same results at a fraction of the cost, because as you can see, though, that their hair was not any less dense. It didn't soften it like a relaxer would. It doesn't do any of that. They say it's going to make it more manageable, but you will still have to work the hair. The more hair you have, the more hair you have to do. I repeat, the more hair you have on your head, the more hair you will have to do. I think they're sending the message that if you put this in your hair, that this is somehow going to be lower maintenance. And that is a lie. It's no matter what you put in your hair, you still going to have to do it. Okay. So I'm just telling y'all the truth according to proof. All right. No matter what. So she said, so we not supposed to use grease? No, I would say you are supposed to use grease. But if y'all want to pay $300-400 on this stuff, go right ahead. But you are going to get adverse results when you use these ammonium thioglycolates on the hair. And I think, was this the video that kind of showed how dry that hair looked?
It was very damaged and that it was very short on at the front. This is due to her having at-home relaxers and then touching it up way too often, not having regular cuts, and not keeping her hair moisturised. Overall, she hasn't taken care of her hair, and this is the result of it. However, my job isn't to judge, never ever to judge. We don't know what people are going through. You never know how someone has been taught to look after their hair, so we are here to advise, and that is all. So throughout the appointment, the lady was flip-flopping in between wanting a haircut and not having a haircut. And my job is to let you know the pros and the cons of not having your haircut or having it. Was very damaged and that it was very short on at the front. This is due to her having at-home relaxers and then touching it up way too often, not having regular cuts, and not keeping her hair moisturised. Overall, she hasn't taken care of her hair, and this is the result of it. However, my job isn't to judge, never ever to judge. We don't know what people are going through. You never know how someone has been taught to look after their hair, so we are here to advise, and that is all. So throughout the appointment, the lady was flip-flopping in between wanting a haircut and not having a haircut. And my job is to let you know the pros and the cons of not having your haircut or having.
All right, so it wouldn't go. But at the end of the day, we could see what was happening with the hair. It was not setting out at all. It was still looking very frizzy. And I think now I understand what you were saying about when you use the ammonium thioglycolate on Afro hair and you try to use it as a straightener. Any cosmetologist ever? Any cosmetologist in the chat, have you ever used ammonium thioglycolate on the hair and tried to blow dry and press it out? Not Wave Nouveau. Not Wave Nouveau. I'm just going straight.
You cannot even wear it.
Like, what did it look like? No, she now she said, are they putting chemicals on top of chemicals? Now remember, the Brazilian blowouts, those are not, and the keratins, they're not going into the hair. They just
keratin is a coater.
Yeah, they coat.
Now, I know this is what I did want to say. Why did Brazilian and keratin and these types of hair straighteners, why do they coincide with flat irons?
That's a good question.
Because of the ceramic. You couldn't go in there with no Marcells trying to do that Can't go in there with metal. Can't go in there with steel. Can't go in there with cast iron. So they're using the fact that the ceramic is infrared heat. Sorry about that.
No, we got it. We got it. We got it. We got it. So we hope that you guys are kind of getting a feel. And I think Kim is thank you so much, Kim. I like what she's saying. She's saying you got to understand, guys, the curly hair or whatever y'all want to call it, okay? It takes work to style. There is no quick, there is no protection. These are all adjectives to get your money. If any of these heads was my customer's hair, because I know what they're looking for when they come in, because they ask us about those Brazilian treatments, right? We don't do them, and not because the whole cancer scare. No, that's not it. It's not.
No, and I'm going to say this. It's not that curly hair takes work. You can't use straight hair cosmetology to style it and to do what you need to do. And unfortunately, cosmetology and the present cosmetology, and I know as Black cosmetologists, we try to reverse the science. It's just the fact that we don't learn Afro science to make sure that we understand why can't we use style on curly hair, why we can't do that. And unfortunately, it's not a world that supports Afro dynamics in terms of, because I can teach you both chemistries, but you have to understand that both the chemistries are going to go opposite directions. The higher the coil count. Plus, the reason why most very high thick hair textures the ends of the hair, they don't return curly. They don't return that. They don't have much life on them in terms of the coil doesn't hold and go back to the original birth coil, is because, once again, the composition of Afro textures are flat. They're not oval, and they're not round like straight hair strands. So that plays a part in it too. So once you understand that, it's not that it's difficult to do it. It's just that we're just taught in reverse. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
And let me just kind of say this too. What I see in the salon is that when it comes to Afro hair, especially to those people who were not brought up to take care of it. Yeah. If you are in a home where you yourself was not involved in grooming, like combing, we ain't got to the straighten and comb yet. We're just talking about getting the house and comb your nappy ass head out, or get in the house and go comb your hair, or however your mama said it.
You're right.
You had to get in that house and get with that hair. So if you're brought up in a home where you're not with the hair, the natural hair movement has provided some type of a fantasy world that somehow, some way, we can make this low maintenance.
Right.
Either with some type of a wash and go or some type of a protective braid style. And these are the downfall. I mean, the worst I've ever seen scalp. And when I say hair, I'm talking about just coated with shit, and it costs a lot of money because it takes time. You're literally paying the cosmetologist for their time. We ain't no damn science in cleaning no dirty ass hair. Okay. It's shit just dirty. And they selling y'all on all kinds of scalp treatments and this treatments and keratin, and that shit is dirty and it ain't combed out. And so I don't use those treatments because, first and foremost, if you don't know how to use the right products, the right tools, and the right techniques, you're going to fall for the okie doke of high porosity, low porosity, damaged hair, scalp treatment, you're going to fall for the okie doke because you've been removed from your responsibility to your relationship with your hair, which requires daily multi interactions throughout the day, like your what? Eyes, your nose, your ears, your mouth, your vagina, the opening of your penis. You have to maintain those orifices in a organized fashion per what the orifice requires. So the left ear may itch and needs a little cleaning, and maybe the right ear doesn't have as much. Some people may blow their nose once a day. Some people may blow and have boogers and they just got to, whatever, your teeth. These are orifices. So your hair, if this hair is straight and you like my hair, I comb this wrap out, right? And if I don't comb this hair throughout the day, I tell you what, I don't care how cute y'all say it is and all whatever y'all, by the time I go to bed at night, Lord have mercy. But what happens with the natural hair movement is that when they see any hair come out, any hair on your clothes, oh, look at that. Y'all be bringing in envelopes full of hair. This is like boogers. To cosmetologists, hair fall is like mucus, like boogers, like plaque, like eye boogers, like wax. You want to get this out. Comb it. When you catch it, you're snatching hair. No, now you can snatch hair out, but you can't snatch it till it's bald. That's not going to happen. Okay, unless you're fighting and you pulling it out. But combing your hair, especially in a smooth hairstyle, you got to get this hair till it all comes smooth throughout the day. Unlike Cheryl's hair, right? If she goes to bed with that ponytail puffed out,
it's gonna be some.
It's gonna be some. We call them what? No disrespect. I'm from the hood. I'm just talking about me. We call them nigga naps. Okay. You don't see when we grew up, you did not do that. Nobody went to bed with that ponytail sticking out. Your mother would bet you better get your ass in that house. You better twist it down. Because it's not because they was like your hair is bad or it take a long time. Your mama gotta go to work in the morning. She's not gonna be twisted down at night. You can rock your Afro puffs, but tonight when you go to bed, you have to twist it down. No, you ain't putting no bonnet. You gonna tie it down. You don't put bonnets on Afro. What? On my hair? I'm gonna wrap this around. Let me just go head on. We're gonna do this live, okay? I'm gonna wrap this hair. I'm not the best rapper, okay? Hip hop to hip it. And then y'all try to take the whole head and be snatching it out. It's too much hair. You got to section it and you got to get it smooth, all right? So we're going to wrap this whole head around, all right? You got people trying to snatch the whole head off and try to wrap it. You got this much hair. You got to get all this hair nice and smooth. You can waste your money on the Brazilian if you want to. Even if you do have the Brazilian treatment, you still have to do this because Cheryl just told you that treatment does not penetrate. Even if you had a relaxer, you got the regrowth factor that's going to come into play. But when y'all see this when they act a fool, Cheryl. This when they start saying, look at that. See her hair coming out. See that it's that shit right there. When they see this, that's why I don't put heat on my hair. This is hair boogers. This is hair wax. This is hair yeast, like in your vagina. You don't want no, you want to get up in there and clean it. And they don't want you using
comb it.
They like comb it. Don't use the Brazil. No. And then you got to take this out, right? This is called comb your hair what? Out. This cannot stay in my hair. Now, if I put a bonnet on top of this, right? And I go to sleep, it don't stay. If I had a Brazilian treatment or a silk press or a relaxer, it wouldn't do. Yes, it would. you have to tie this down. You don't put a bonnet on this. And you got to comb it several times. And now if you use a wide tooth comb like this, oh, hell to the no. You really going to snatch it out now. Because now you're just doing what? Now you're just raking it. See? And then y'all start saying what? It's thinning. No, boo. You literally, physically, you're scarring your scalp. This is not a comb out comb. This is a rake or cutting or texture comb. But y'all over here trying to watch us on YouTube. No, these are for certain purposes. This is not to comb your hair because you don't want to see what? See, Ladosha, when you use the wide tooth comb, you didn't get no hair. Well, now you see why your hair is coming out, because you got to comb it out. And these Brazilian treatments, these keratin treatments, all of these treatments, they are removing you from the relationship with your hair, and they're having people under the guise that somehow, some way, I can make this whole process low maintenance. No, it's not going to be low maintenance. It's going to be expensive if you got to pay me and Cheryl. Our jobs is to teach you guys so that you're not wasting money on that, because I don't care what you put on it, you still gonna have to comb that hair. It's got to be the right product, the right tool, and the right technique. As Cheryl just explained to you, those keratin treatments, they're just sitting on top. Grease will do the same. What's in my hair? Cheryl's, your CMAR, what's it called? The little oil? I don't have it in front of me. Cream, oil to cream.
Smoothing. Yeah, oil cream. Smoothing oil cream. Mm-hmm.
That's it. And you can tell it's greasy. Look at it. Oh, but I forgot. We can't use grease. See, you can use too much grease. If you use too much grease, then yeah, it's going to be greasy. But I only use like a little film. And then I use some oil sheen, which is mineral oil. I use oil sheen like every other day. Because if I don't, Cheryl just said, what's going to happen? It's going to do what? It's going to start frizzing. But if I got a little frizz
white folks found out that what we've always been telling them, that at the end of the day, it is only the cuticle layer that determines everything. Not the cortex, not bonds, not no dorsal 5 bonds, not it. It goes to show you. They just told you, if you coat the cuticle and the cuticle never gets wind that there's movement or water in the air, it won't frizz. So if the cuticle doesn't get the message in the biosphere that something is happening that's causing it to trigger, and there's hydrogen and water molecules in the air, it will never change.
Mm-hmm.
Relaxer does it permanent and takes some of the cuticles away so it will not be susceptible, so it's permanent. But the Brazilian only lasts 3 months, and then you have to do it all over again.
Right. And when it comes to your
it's just a matter of choice. The Brazilian is not the best choice. Relaxer is not the best choice. The relaxer is not the bad choice. Keratin is not the bad choice. It's just so you can understand what actually is going on instead of just them selling you something.
I kind of look at it like a car.
And I do apologize for my phone. Something's going on with my phone. It's overheating. Yeah. And so anyway, but I just wanted to say thank you for your patience.
Oh, yes. And the hair care, they're like cars. It's like, how do you want to arrive? So even if you don't have straight, let's just say you have an afro, right? When you have the afro, you're going to pick it out. Now, if you wash your hair, right, and you wet set your curl or coil or wave pattern, and you want that fixed, perfect. No, you're not going to pick that out. You're not going to comb it. However, you only have a window of opportunity where you can just go to sleep on that hair. And the average head of hair is within 4 days. After them 4 days, you're going to have to do what? Re-wet it and start all over again. right? If you have an afro, you have to pick it out several times throughout the day. If not,
well, let me ask you a question. When do you guys ever see 100,000 hairs leave your head a day?
1,000. Yeah.
1,000? They say 1,000? You lose 1,000 hairs a day? How many hairs are you supposed to lose a day?
Mm-hmm.
I'm asking you.
They say,
how many?
Yeah, they say, how many people do that? She said it will be disrespectful in the morning. Yeah, how many strands of hair do they say you're supposed to you lose, not use, I'm sorry. How many strands of hair should you lose in a day? We mean like the hair on your clothes. Oh, I threw out my hair. Oh, here it is. How
All right,
many
guys.
of these here?
My phone is probably going to act up. I don't know what's
You're
going
going
on.
back to your computer? You're going back to your computer?
Probably.
Okay, we're going back to our computer.
But right. We've been okay, go ahead.
Okay. So Cheryl's going to come back before we wrap it up. So the question is, the last question of the night, Cheryl wants to know, how many strands of hair are we to lose per day? And I don't know how many is in here, but that's a lot. Okay, so let's see. Oh, we got some good answers coming through. Okay. And we appreciate you guys. And again, our goal is you make the decision. That's why I said we're not here to make you do it, not do it. But when you get your skills set up, it's like makeup. You know how you start off with like Wet n Wild and then you move up to like Kat Von D, look at your hair like that. Once you master it, then if you want to graduate to more, stuff, then that's cool. But don't start off like that, especially with your kids. All right, Cheryl, here we go. About 100. Weekay says we're talking about 100 strands per day. We got 100 strands per day. What's up, Eleanor? How you doing, babe? 100 to 150.
Y'all don't see that many. Y'all don't see that many hairs a day.
Hold on. Wait a minute. Siri said 100, but she thought it was 1,000. Okay, that is not a lot. You said what I had. Oh, where'd my hair fall go? Oh, shoot, Trish, I lost my little nap. Oh, here it go, Trish. So you said that is not a lot. Okay, now the hair fall that's going to come out, it depends on the condition of your hair, the last time you combed it. All that's going to play a role in how much hair. So, Kay got the first trivia question. So, Cheryl, we got it's a consensus that it's 100 strands per day. And we have one person that says she was told about 1,000. What's up? Oh, we rocking it out over here on TikTok. I see you, Healthy Hair Bar, Nola Darling, Son James, my homegirl Denise West, baby. So Cheryl, how much are we supposed to lose per day?
Well, no one's ever. Somebody just made the 100 up. I'm not gonna make it up now. They made the 100 up.
Oh, they made it.
The 100 is not scientific.
This marketing is getting on my nerves.
You're saying, but the 100 is not scientific. That's not scientific. That shit is some guesstimation somebody just said.
I believed it. Come on, y'all ain't gonna embarrass me. I know I ain't. I believed it. I have YouTube videos right here on the Afro Hair Science YouTube channel. I want you guys to see my growth.
What I'm saying to you, where did that come from?
From reading, magazine articles and listening to interviews of people on when I used to watch TV before 1989.
Now you just told me my earwax would just may be different on one side to the other side. Now you can't tell me that all 9 billion of people who are losing the 100 hairs every day, and we just checked that. They ain't about to tell me that.
Okay, so we got 3 people in the chat that said they believed it. What's up, Disney? You my home girl, Booskay. Okay.
Right. And let me just say this. What about?
So it's 3 of us who believe. Let me see if they believed it over here on Instagram. I believed it. Okay, look at Denise, like, go, Cheryl, bust they. See, Denise is an educator, so I'm not an educator. I confess that it's not my job. Wait a minute. So Eleanor said, from her perspective, the beauty schools of America teaches this. I don't.
Let me just say this. Well, let me ask you guys a question.
Wait a minute. Wait.
You do.
Wait, just said like the 10K steps per day.
No. Now let me ask you a question.
We for the okie doke. Okay.
Okay, so let me ask you guys a question. They didn't, so they must have not counted the dreadlock people. Because how would they know?
Well, they locking theirs up, sure. They don't count.
No, but how do they know that that applies to them? They counted. They took. See, my point is that you cannot.
They keeping their hair locked up, so they don't.
I know, but how? But they could not say that that's what's in their lock.
Oh yeah, y'all see that? I had an aha moment. They cannot say, today I'm going to collect 1,000 strands, divide that by the numbers of locks in my head, and disperse that into my 72 locks. I get you. Hold on, let me drop the bomb. Sure, always embarrassing my dumb ass. That's all, but I'm here for it. I'm here for it. Come on, let's give it up for Cheryl. I get it. I still don't know what that means. Is it crock or is it clock? I don't know. I don't know what that means. I do it, but I just try to look cool. But I don't know what it means. I would just lock people, not included. But who's counting here? Trish, I believed it. I did. Trish, I believed the 1,000 strands per day. I believed it. I read it in magazines, and I used to avidly consume Allure magazine. I mean, I would just read Allure every chance I got. So I believed it with you. Okay. So yeah, well, guys, as Cheryl said, they kind of made that up. And they did that probably to get us to buy more stuff. So this has been a wonderful podcast. Show's going to come back in. But what I want to say again about those treatments, and I'm not saying don't get them, but what we want you guys to do is to put all of that stuff into perspective. Until you master your own hair and understanding it, have a love affair with your hair. Take some time and get to know it, what it does, what it can or what you can or you cannot do. Don't turn your hair over to the professional, all of it. Some of it, you're going to have to do some of it yourself. And once you gain a clear understanding about your hair, of what you want to do, then you can make those types of investments. In my salon, I don't push them for one reason and one reason only, and that's because I'm cheap. I'm just going to, I can make that happen with some hair grease. I could teach you how to comb your hair out with some hair conditioners and the right comb. So that's just my professional reason, because I'm cheap. I'm just telling y'all my truth. I'm just cheap. Okay. Now my customers, if they want it, I send them where they can go, which is a salon over on Fairmont. I'm just going to be honest. I heard of 1,000 strands per day. I did. So question, one more question, show before you get up out of here. Is a 2-in-1 shampoo, does it work the same as a moisturizing or cold wash shampoo?
How do you know it's a 2-in-1? How do you know the shampoo is a 2-in-1?
Oh, wait. While she's answering, Denise West said it was always presented as an average in textbooks. Wow. Okay. She's okay, Eleanor. She said they teach it at a cosmetology school. Okay. All right, guys. So that's one source. I know I read it in Allure magazine. I
And
couldn't recall.
and how is it relevant? Like, why
Because,
would somebody count it?
well, people want to know. I don't know why somebody would count it. But she said
But
because
the
it says on the
answer,
bottle. Yeah. So she said, yeah. She says, how did she know it? Because the bottle says that it's a shampoo and conditioner 2-in-1. So the question is it a moisture? Does a
Right.
2-in-1 shampoo work the same as a moisturizing or co-wash shampoo?
Right. When you look at a moisturizing shampoo, the conditioners are the same in the 2-in-1. All shampoos, unless they're clarifying, as you guys would say it, or they're acid washes, are going to have polymers, humectants, panthenols in them. It's the same thing.
Oh, so again, it boils down to marketing. So a
Glycerins,
2-in-1 shampoo, a
lanolin.
moisturizer. Okay. So a 2-in-1 shampoo, a moisturizing shampoo, and a co-wash shampoo, those are all the same. Jesus. Kim said, help me.
Right.
Yeah.
Because they're made to make the hair. Yeah, they're just made to make the hair mushy.
Okay.
Which in your brain says moisturized.
Oh, okay. Next question. What is an acid wash? That's a good one, Eleanor. Thank you.
A acidic shampoo.
Mm-hmm. So the pH, when you, again, these are not for the public. So when we buy shampoos, they will have a pH number written on there. So 7 would be like a neutral. 6, the lower you go is acidic. The higher you go is alkaline. So an acidic shampoo is going to be somewhere between a 4 or 4.5 on the pH scale. You guys would call them neutralizing shampoos. Those are acid wash.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. There you go. All right. She said she heard the old school method was just shampoo and grease, no conditioner. That's how I grew up. Well, wait a minute. I don't think I knew what a conditioner was. I know for a fact until I was 18. I've been trying to wrestle it in my mind. My mother did not use conditioner on our hair, and I don't know if she couldn't afford. I don't know. She's no longer with us. May she rest in peace. But we did not use conditioners either. So I grew up, we washed it, and she just used some hair grease and braided it down. So um, I turned out fine. Conditioners are optional. You don't necessarily need them, and we talked about that. But if detangling is combing it out can be a little tough, then conditioners will soften that water. It can help you. But even on my own hair with all this color, I ain't gonna lie. I don't always use conditioner. I don't. I use a little leave-in. I don't. I'm just saying. So do you always use conditioner on your hair?
No,
No.
it was, lotion sometimes, Jergens,
Yeah.
I mean, no.
Yeah. No. Okay. So it's up to you again. And then that's why we said we're not trying to push anything on you. I know what y'all thinking. All that color in your head. Nope. But it got some grease in it, and it's got some oil sheen and a whole lot of heat. 450, 60 if I can find it. But y'all know I'm vain. Y'all can tell. Y'all know I think I'm cute. I'll be thinking I'm real cute. All right. I think this was a dynamic. It's not about vanity. It's about sanity. That's my excuse. Okay. This once again, dynamic podcast. We're gonna close this out next week with what's the method? What's the best methodology to flat iron hair? when you got your treatments in it. Now you got your hair grease. Now you got your keratins. Now you got your e-presses. All of these, remember the names, okay? We're gonna talk about the technique of how to flat iron or straighten your hair. Now that you got your chemicals on it, you got your relaxers, right? You have your Brazilians, you have your keratins, you have your smoothing, you have your protein, smoothing treatments. Now you guys want to know what's the best method, what's the best products to use on his hair. So we're going to close it out with that one. And you're loving the no conditioner, less scalp. Holla at your girl. All right. Thank you, Trish the Natural. We appreciate your feedback as usual. Hey, everybody in here, we love y'all. Kay, Eleanor, Live Work Clean, my homegirl LB, Oliver, Kimberly, you and Erica gracing us with your presence and your time. Yate. Don't forget, check out her podcast every Sunday, Our Canadian Babe. We appreciate your questions. Everybody, Sister Naya Kobe. Our new cousin, Disney Toys Are for Fun, $9.75. We hope that you can come back and keep binge watching. Sandra and Wike, our virtual co-host. We had another new person. I think I just scrolled past her name. See if I can find it. I'll be seeing y'all in here. There she is, Giraffes and Butterflies. And Brianna A. Samore. Okay, so thank you guys so much. Mika, please come back. Y'all join us. We appreciate you. Everybody on Instagram and Facebook. We love you guys. So Cheryl, any closing thoughts on this?
I mean, we hit it.
We hit it all. All right. Y'all watch this again and go back and get some stuff. Keep it simple. That's the name of the game. You know what your grandma say? What's the secret to life? Keep it simple. The KISS principle. All right. If it works, I don't care what nobody say, even me. If it works, use it. Okay. All right. You know what we say when we're signing out, right? We're talking about a whole lot of peace, a whole lot of love, and a whole lot of hair. If you ain't got it, don't want it. Like, I don't know why I'm listening to this show, because I do not like hair. I got some bald patches. Don't worry about that, because all of that's beautiful too, and so are you. And again, we're going to be back here next week with how to treat this. How do you use some flat irons? How do you use this relaxed? How do we take care of all this stuff? Okay, we're going to show you guys some techniques. Shirley and I are going to reveal some of our secrets. Okay. All right, y'all have a wonderful night. And don't forget, like, share, and subscribe on your way out. We appreciate you. Cheryl, as always, you rocked this funky joint. All right. Deuces, my good people. Cheryl, you ready for the chit chat tonight?
I'm ready.
Bam, bam, bam. He or she said, cancel this damn show. They hate it. What? Hold on. Wait a minute.
Make black hair great again.
Hold on. Wait a minute. Now,
We're coming, get our check.
Cheryl Morrow, the one, the only, the hair oracle.
I did it with Red Dot, and then we also had a cosmetology school instructor in the chat, Miss Denise West, Michelle Allen, Miss Foster. Dang, I missed your hey! It's always nice to see Miss Foster in the chat. Michelle Allen, you know how much we love you too.
What? About a whole lot of peace. Cheryl, you order that in a bag of chips.